Hey y'all. Alright, so I'm just gonna walk through this one because I did it and then I cut my phone off by accident. So supplemental angles, they're gonna equal 180. So I'm gonna take my two pieces and it equals my whole of 180. So 14x plus 10 plus 10x plus 2. So I've combined my two angles and they're down here. So now I'm going to combine my like terms. So I've got 14x and 10x. And then I've got positive 10 and positive 2. So 14x plus 10x gives me 24x. And 10 plus 2 gives me 12. I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. So 12 minus 12 crosses out. 180 minus 12 gives me 168. I bring down that 24. 24x equals 168. And 168 divided by 24 gives me 7. So then x equals 7. And for that question, all I need to do is determine the value of x. Now that I've done that, I'm done. But if you look at the next question, number 4, it says determine the measure of the acute angle. Now remember, when we're talking about angles, what is an acute versus an obtuse versus a straight and a vertical and all that good stuff. So I've got, here's my straight angle, okay? I'm gonna draw this here. And I know that my straight angle is a supplementary angle when I split it up, right? So both of these angles are gonna equal 180. Now, I'm gonna have an acute angle and I'm gonna have an obtuse angle. So acute angle is less than 90. And obtuse so acute angle is less than 90 and an obtuse angle is greater than 90. Okay? So obtuse is less than 90, or I'm sorry, obtuse is greater than 90 and acute is less than 90. And I think of it as like an acute little angle. It's so tiny, it's less than 90. Or obtuse and it's greater than 90. Silly, I know, but it works. So for complementary angles, supplementary equals 180, complementary equals 90. So it looks like this. And then I can split it. It's bisected, fun fact. So I've got angle 1 and angle 2. So angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90, okay? So for number 9, I'm going to work on. It says 7x plus 2 and 8 plus x, or x plus 8. So there's my angles. So I'm going to set it up so angle 1 and angle 2, oops, equals 90. Sorry, I know you can't see that. I'm trying to make it big. Like terms. Remember, cats are my x's, dogs are my constants. Cats and dogs can't mix to make little ones, so I've got to stick with the same pair. So 7x plus x gives me 8x. 2 plus 8 gives me 10, which equals 90. So I'm going to subtract my constant, 8 x equals 80 and divide each side by 8. So then I'm left with x equals 10. Okay? And that's it, because that just says determine the value of x. Now, if you look at the next question, number 10, it says ABC is a right angle. Find the measure of ABD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to find the value of x. Then once I'm done, say I wanted to find, go back to number 9, say I wanted to find the value of ABD on that one. And on number 9, it's 7x plus 2. Well, I'm just going to take the x that I found, 7 times 10 plus 2 gives me 72. And so the measure of angle ABD equals 72. Okay? And then if I look at the other part, angle CBD equals x plus 8. So 18, and then 72 plus 18 gives me 90. So that's a complementary angle. All right, now vertical angles. Vertical angles are the ones that look like an X, okay? It looks like an X, and the angles that are across from one another are congruent.
How can I not see them?
Well, this is a video. Oops. So I'm not talking to anybody right now. I'm doing a video. I'm making a video.
Actually, we won't put taking off their PJs. The like koi dog, big giant dog, and my bunny.
Okay.
And we put on clothes.
So here is my vertical angle, and I'm gonna scroll down to number 15. Okay. So I've got negative 4x plus 13 and negative 6x minus 17. Now for these two, we're going to set equal to one another to solve, okay? So negative 4x plus 13 equals negative 6x minus 17, okay? Then I'm just going to combine like terms, 4x and 6x, and 13 and negative 7. So I'm going to keep my x positive. So I'm going to move this this negative 6 to this side. So plus 6x plus 6x. This crosses out. Negative 4x plus 6x gives me 2x plus 13 equals negative 17. And then I'm going to subtract 13. 2x equals negative 30. Okay? So there is my work up to getting to the final answer of x. I'm going to divide each side by 2. And x equals negative 15. Okay? So I've determined my x, and I'm good. All right? So if they're across from each other, we're going to set them equal to one another and solve. Okay? But if you look at number 16, we have some angles that are adjacent, or they're sharing a side. So I've got 40x plus 37 and 16x plus 3. Now, if we're looking at this, we're going to look at it like a supplemental angle, okay? We're just going to cover that up. Set them both equal to 180 and solve for x, okay? So it'll be 40x plus 37 plus 16x plus 3 equals 180, and then I'm solving for x. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on here. For 19 through 21, or I'm sorry, 24, 19 through 24. Just look at the information you have. For number 1, we're going to break it down. We've got a set, or not number 1, number 19, sorry. For number 19, we've got vertical angles. And we're going to come down here with another set. This one is apparently a right angle, and 47, and then Z. So we're going to look for Z, Y, X, and we have a given measure of 871, okay? So I'm going to break this down and show you that if we're looking at this part here, 71 and X form a supplemental angle, right? So it's going to be 180 minus 71. So 180 minus 70, whoops, not 77, 71 equals X, okay? And then 71 and Y are vertical angles, so they're congruent. So 71 equals Y. Then I'm going to look down here at 47 and Z. If this is a 90-degree angle, then I know that these two are supplementary, or these two, better yet, are what? These two, if this is right and this is a vertical angle to that right angle, then they're going to be congruent. So Z will be 90, okay? And if you have any questions on any of this, please feel free to shoot me an email, or and we can set up a Zoom session, or I can send you some notes or something like that. We're going to do some positive and negative slope real quick. And then we're going to go real quick over real number systems. So, positive and negative slope. Here's my grid, okay? My origin is right here. And the biggest thing for you guys to remember is slope man, all right? So positive goes up and to the right. Negative goes down to the right. Undefined is straight up and down. And then 0 is a horizontal line, okay? So remember slope man. And let's see if I can pull up. Give me one sec. So this is for the linear equations assignment, okay? For A, I'm not going to do this perfectly, but here is my grid, and A goes kind of like this, right? So is that going to be positive or negative? It's going to be positive because it's going up and to the right. Do we need to determine slope for this? Yes, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it around and show my computer screen real quick so we can walk through this together. Okay, so here is, let me see. So here's my origin, right? It's going up and to the right, so I know it's positive. It crosses my y-axis at +1, okay? So +1 will be my y-intercept. Sorry, I'm getting all crazy over here, trying to find my sticky pad. So my y, gosh, I guess you can't see that, can you? My y-intercept is +1, right? Because it crosses at 1. My slope is, if it starts here, it goes up 1, 2 over 1, up 1, 2 over 1. So my slope is 2 over 1. Now to take this information and put it in a slope intercept, it's y equals 2 over 1x, because that's where my slope goes, plus 1. And that's how I get the slope from that. Okay, I'll show this one here. See, there is no slope, right? There's no rising and running. So my y-axis is just going to equal 2, okay? Y equals 2. Same thing for this. I don't have any rise or run. I'm not rising and running. I'm just going up and down. So I'm not even touching my y-axis. So for my slope would just equal, we're rising, but we're not running, okay? So it would just be x equals 2. Negative slope here, okay? My y-intercept is 2, +2, and it's going down and to the right, okay? So I'm going to say down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. So my slope is -1, okay? So my equation would be y equals -1 x, or negative x, because with just the variable, that tells us that it is either -1x, and then my y-intercept is +2, or y equals -x plus 2. Okay? All right. So that was a quick run through for slope, positive, negative, all that jazz. Now for real number systems. Remember, so all real numbers is the big giant one. Okay, and then with that all real numbers, we're going to break it into 2 parts. We're going to have rational and irrational. Okay, do you remember what an irrational number is? The first and foremost is pi, right? 3.141629, whatever. Also, the square root of 2 is a irrational number. So anything that has crazy decimals or it doesn't repeat, okay? Doesn't, oops, no pattern. For a rational number, it's basically everything else, right? And we're going to take the rational number and break it down into integers, right? Integers. And then we've got, I'm drawing a blank brain fart here, or drawing a blank here. Yeah, I kept thinking counting numbers, but I wanted to use the right word. So we've got whole numbers. And then natural, that's what I couldn't think of, numbers. Okay. So that's what we got, all right? Rational, and then irrational, and then rational breaks down into various ones. An example for natural numbers is all those counting numbers, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up until. Whole numbers are all of those counting numbers to include 0, okay? So whole numbers include 0 in everything from 1 to infinity. Integers are your counting numbers, 0, and the negatives of those counting numbers. So anywhere from -1, -2, -3, -4, but it does not include decimals or fractions. And then rational numbers include those decimals, the fractions, everything else. But to determine between a rational number and an irrational number, remember that the irrational numbers, they don't make sense, right? They're irrational. They're crazy. The decimals are wonky. The square root of 2, the square root of 3, pi, square root 11. There's just, the numbers just don't make sense. And I think that's it for right now. That's about a 23-minute video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. It's jaywilliams@ccps.us. And this is for phase 1, and I will start working on phase 2 probably tomorrow or Friday, and then work on phase 3 after that. So if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. Talk to you guys later. Bye.